Now at 10, an admission from the Weber County Sheriff's Office. They're now investigating an incident after a toddler gets locked in an apartment. We're talking to the mother on what she thinks of the sheriff's response. Plus, a letter labeled "Burn After Reading." New details tonight in the case against Brian Laundrie's family. And
anyone watching or anybody willing to pray for all of them, not just the entire island, has just been slammed.
A missionary from Ogden, unaccounted for after what is being called one of the worst cyclones on record strikes in New Zealand.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Welcome to ABC4 News at 10. I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores. We thank you for joining us here tonight. Taking a look at the snow now in southern Utah. Check this out. This is Zion National Park earlier today. That snow accumulating in the area as this Valentine's Day storm rolled on through.
Okay, that shot is just amazing looking.
Yes.
You think of what Zion usually looks like?
No.
It was like that? Wow.
Still winter, Alana.
You couldn't even make out the red rock, and that's usually what we love to see,
Amazing.
right? I know. The storm's not done either. We still have snow going on in that portion of the state, and it's something that we're tracking pretty closely. A few snow showers holding on in the north. Let's head right to the storm tracker radar so you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can see that swath of moisture in the southern portion of Utah, and then on the eastern side of the state, up in the north, we saw snow showers throughout the evening, but things quieting down just a little bit. Kind of as we zoom in here, you're going to notice just towards Tooele County and on the western side of the Great Salt Lake over towards Wendover, a few pockets of showers, but a bulk of that moisture is actually further on the eastern side of the state over I-70 towards Moab. Check the camera, and I know that Arches National Park is getting snow at this hour, and then we jump down to Grand Staircase towards Cedar City, and I'd say Beaver County down to St. George and Washington County. That portion of I-15 still dealing with snow, and we're snow covered in and around Bryce Canyon, and then down towards Kanab where it's been snowing throughout the day. A lot going on in the weather world. We still have our alerts in effect, which means our winter weather advisories in purple, our winter storm warning in pink. These hold on through tomorrow afternoon and evening in different portions of the state. So we've also got to check in on some of these totals because we knew that the snow was going to come on through, and when it did, it brought a decent amount. So tonight we have a weather watcher in Parowan, Doug Fox, and he measured 8.5 at his house. 5 inches recorded in Hilldale, 4 inches in Cedar, Kanab picking up 4, and Grand Staircase in Escalante getting 4. Now those numbers likely to go up because this was at last check in the evening hours and snow has continued. Now in the north, we were dealing with just a trace to 2 inches kind of overall, and that's exactly what we got. Smithfield is an outlier here up in Cache Valley picking up 4, close to 2 in Hiram. Holiday got 1.5 inches, South Ogden in that arena, and more than 1 inch in portions of Salt Lake. So we know that we are not done just yet because the next layer of the storm is the wind, and it means business because we have several new wind advisories that have gone into effect, and we know that's something that's going to impact us as we head into tonight. That does include in the southern portion of the state, but also eastern Utah, southwest desert, and the Wasatch Front. Now, we've got to break down what's happening where, and I'll do that coming up in my full forecast in just a few moments. So stay with us. Glenn, Emily, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Alana. We do have an update to a story we first broke last week involving Weber County deputies responding to a call where a toddler was locked inside of a home alone. The sheriff's office now saying mistakes were made and they're changing their procedures. ABC4's Courtney Johns has been following the story from the very beginning and joins us live in studio with the very latest. Courtney.
Yeah, Emily, this is just one of the videos that we shared with you showing what parents had to do after a tech glitch locked them out of their home, their toddler trapped inside. The 2-year-old's mother says she was so appalled by how deputies handled the situation, she recorded their conversation.
I'm not going to lose my career for kicking in a door under these circumstances.
I think you're being a little...
No, I'm trying to tell you something right now, okay? You can listen.
Caitlin Burchell says the first time they called 911, dispatch told her it wasn't an emergency. After calling her landlord, local locksmiths, even the fire department with no luck, she called 911 again and demanded someone come and help her. When deputies got there, she says they did next to nothing and left her with her 2-year-old still stuck inside. The Weber County Sheriff's Office says they were disappointed in how the deputies handled the situation and that they would have supported them in breaking into the home to help that child. The Sheriff's Office also recently just updated their consent form, which they say will streamline the process during these types of events in the future. I asked Burchell what message she has for the Sheriff's Office now. Her answer, thank you.
I just hope that they stick to what they're saying, which I'm assuming they will. I just hope that they stick with the consent form, and that parents or people that go through a situation like this won't have to deal with what we had to deal with.
Burchell says she has seen a lot of people post nasty messages about what happened against her, her apartment complex, even the sheriff's office, and she says she never wanted anything like that to happen. She simply wanted to prevent this from happening in the future. Back to you.
Courtney, thank you. New details tonight in the case against Brian Laundrie's family. Attorneys representing the parents of Gabby Petito saying Laundrie's mother wrote a letter to her son that included references to getting a shovel and burying a body. They say the envelope containing the letter said this, quote, burn after reading, which was recovered from Brian's backpack when his body was found. A defense attorney for Laundrie's parents confirming the letter exists, but saying that it is irrelevant to the lawsuit. One man dead after being hit by a car on Redwood Road this evening. According to Salt Lake City Police, the 55-year-old man was walking in the crosswalk on 700 North on a red light when the driver traveling southbound hit the pedestrian. Police said the driver stayed on scene and is cooperating with the investigation. This crash marks the third traffic-related fatality in Salt Lake City for 2023.
And a missionary from Ogden unaccounted for after what is being called one of the worst cyclones on record strikes in New Zealand. Now, the family of 18-year-old Logan Williams asking for prayers tonight, receiving a phone call from Logan's mission president with concerning news. A cyclone slammed into the coastal town in New Zealand where he was living. However, because the town is not used to weather events like this, no one evacuated. His family saying no one has heard from Logan or his companion in more than 40 hours.
All communication was knocked down. Cell towers, satellite towers, power, everything. They're completely off grid. People were sleeping. So it happened about 4 a.m. And some of what we've read online, people had to swim out of their houses through their bedroom windows.
Ooh, okay, his mother and father saying they have faith and that Logan is intelligent and prepared for something like this. Continuing to say their biggest concern is that he will be on the front lines helping people, putting himself in harm's way. Helicopters have been dropping supplies and picking up people as they can, but due to water levels, no one has been able to make contact. Now, the mission president flying to New Zealand tomorrow as flooding has receded in some parts, hoping to find Logan and his companion. Sam Pemrod, the media relations manager for the church communication department, saying in part tonight, the missionaries were aware of the incoming storm. They had enough supplies and are in a community where there is a Latter-day Saint ward with church members to provide support. As soon as communication is restored to this area, we are hopeful to get an update to share.
The pilot of a small plane making an emergency landing on Bangerter Highway in South Jordan this evening. Now, according to the South Jordan Police Department, the small commuter plane landing on the off-ramp of 114 South, this was around 5:45 p.m. The pilot had reported a mechanical failure leading to the emergency landing.
Oh my God, this plane just lost an engine and came down in front of us. Oh, I was honking at the cars to move out of the way. Holy shit. Holy shit. He almost came down right on top of us.
Wow, can you imagine? Police saying 2 males were inside, trying to coast into an airport in West Jordan, but didn't make it. No damages or injuries reported, thankfully. Sandy Mayor Monica Zoltansky honoring 6 police officers for stopping a porch pirating ring. The officers are part of Sandy's crime suppression unit. Back in December, the mayor says these officers used ring video footage and tips from the public to find those 7 suspects behind what they call a theft ring. They found them with stolen packages, they say, documents, various drugs, and a weapon. The mayor saying the crime suppression unit is working hard to get this job done.
It wasn't like somebody just handed them the description, the vehicle description, or the identity, or said they're going to be at this place and time. No, all of these pieces of the puzzle were put together through proactive policing, community policing, monitoring what's happening in online groups, and all of the other resources our department has.
The mayor says residential burglary in Sandy decreasing over 50% in 2022. She says that reflects the hard work of law enforcement.
And in Tooele County now, the body of a 14-year-old boy recovered after hours of searching. Jaden Davis died at Settlement Canyon Reservoir last night after falling through the ice. Police say it was around 7 p.m. when 3 teenage boys ages 14, 16, and 18 were on the frozen reservoir. The ice collapsed under Davis and the 18-year-old. The older boy was able to get out. Police say after a long and difficult search, Davis's body was recovered just after midnight. Davis's grandfather thanking all of those who helped recover his body.
Divers were in the water almost constantly. They were rotating out. We kept expecting them to say, we're going to call the search off for tonight because of the weather and darkness. They wouldn't leave.
Multiple agencies responded, including the Tooele Fire Department, Search and Rescue, and the DPS dive team. His death now under investigation. And Salt Lake City police estimate 100,000 people will be in the city this weekend for the NBA AllStar game. With that increase in people and traffic, city leaders have plans in place to ensure it's safe and fun for locals and visitors alike. Salt Lake Police Department announcing that 300 West on the east side of the arena and 100 South will be closed 24/7 during the events.
We're prepared for that. We've taken those precautions. We have, a plan in place. But there's no better partner in any type of situation, and especially a mass shooting, than our community. If somebody sees something, let us know. Big or small, we want to know.
Police will be hosting a town hall meeting on Thursday to discuss the closures with people who live and work in the area. Coming up, the federal government says rising consumer prices continue to slow down. We are going to have the latest from Washington.
Also, devastation on the campus of Michigan State University as they reel from that mass shooting. The latest out of Lansing.
Plus, a live look at Bryce Canyon, where you've got snow on the road. They were hit hard by this Valentine's Day storm. Capitol Reef also picking up the snow with the scenic drive closed as it continued to come down, where we're dealing still with precipitation and what to expect in the way of winds and wind chill in Utah's most accurate forecast.